Prosecutors have charged a former MLB pitcher with reckless driving in connection to a deadly hit-and-run crash last year.
One of the best pitchers of his time, Scott Erickson's career was an extraordinary one. But apart from baseball, he made it to the news for assault charges and a fatal hit-and-run that killed two young boys. Before we proceed, please don't forget to subscribe. The assault charges. Erickson found himself in serious legal trouble after being arrested and charged with second-degree assault for allegedly attacking his live-in girlfriend, Lisa Ortiz. According to the police, the confrontation began around 3 a.m. after Ortiz accused Erickson, then 34, of cheating on her. Things quickly escalated into a heated and violent argument. Ortiz, 29, confronted Erickson about the infidelity, sparking what police described as a chaotic scene in their apartment. In a fit of rage, Ortiz reportedly began throwing objects and even ripped down a rack of clothes. Erickson, seemingly unable to calm the situation, demanded that Ortiz leave. At that moment, according to the police report, Erickson lifted Ortiz by her waist, carried her out the front door, and when she tried to get back inside, things took a darker turn. The police claimed Erickson grabbed Ortiz by the neck, threw her onto the floor of an elevator, and then, in a shocking move, dragged her by her hair. He allegedly sent her down to the lobby in the elevator, leaving her there. But Ortiz wasn't done. When the police finally arrived on the scene, they found Ortiz curled up, crying behind the door. Although she did not want to press charges, refusing to fill out a domestic violence report, the situation had already spiraled out of control. Ortiz reportedly told officers that while Erickson was physical with her, she had also fought back, biting him on the arm and causing bruising and swelling. Erickson's foot was also bleeding from the altercation. Despite the violent details in the police report, Ortiz later downplayed the incident in a statement made through Erickson's management agency. "This is a private matter between Scott and me that unfortunately escalated to police involvement," Ortiz explained, insisting that Erickson had never been physically abusive toward her before. She made it clear that she did not feel threatened by him. Erickson, for his part, dismissed the whole situation as exaggerated. Before heading out to Camden Yards for the Orioles game against the Toronto Blue Jays that same day, he addressed reporters, saying, "Nothing happened. It's just been blown out of proportion." Confident that the charges wouldn't stick, Erickson added, "Everything will be dropped. There's no doubt in my mind. It's just a bad break." A court hearing was set for September 6th, but Erickson remained certain that the incident was a misunderstanding that would soon be behind him. However, the disturbing details of the police report had already cast a dark cloud over his personal life. The hit-and-run case, long after cheers for him ended on the pitch, Erickson made it to the news for something truly horrible: the hit-and-run case. His divorce from Lisa Guerrero was in process, and he was in an entanglement with Rebecca Grossman. The two were day drinking at Julio's, a popular restaurant in Westlake Village, and then drove away in separate vehicles and raced each other. What followed was a reckless and deadly race through the quiet suburban streets. Prosecutors claimed the two were driving over 80 miles per hour, far exceeding the speed limit, when they reached a crosswalk in Westlake Village. It was there that two young brothers walking across the street were struck and killed. The crash sent shockwaves through the community. After the crash, the socialite, Grossman, was given a breathalyzer test, which revealed her blood alcohol content to be 0.076%. However, that wasn't the only substance in her system. Authorities also discovered Valium in her blood, raising further concerns about her ability to safely operate a vehicle that night. Though her alcohol level was below the legal threshold, the combination of alcohol and the prescription drug painted a troubling picture of her state at the time of the deadly accident. Throughout Grossman's murder trial, the defense team continuously focused attention on former Dodgers pitcher Scott Erickson, keeping him at the center of their strategy. They argued that it was Erickson who initially struck the two young boys in the fatal hit-and-run. On Thursday, in a new twist, a district attorney's investigator, called to the stand by the defense, leveled another accusation at Erickson. The investigator claimed that Erickson had been engaging in a practice known as cold plating, which involves using the same license plate on two separate vehicles. In this case, the investigator alleged that Erickson had placed identical plates on both of his black Mercedes SUVs, one of which he was driving the night of the crash. The investigator highlighted that cold plating is a felony offense. Grossman's attorneys seized on this revelation, portraying Erickson as a lawbreaker and using it to further cast doubt on his credibility. They argued that his alleged illegal activities might indicate deeper involvement in the crash. However, the lead prosecutor brushed off the claims, calling the cold plating issue an irrelevant distraction that had little to do with the events of that tragic night, labeling it as an outdated and insignificant point. Despite the defense's focus on Erickson's actions, the prosecution maintained that Grossman remained responsible for the deadly incident. The chilling threats. In a twist, Grossman's daughter accused Erickson of allegedly threatening her to stay silent after she spotted him near the scene of the tragic hit-and-run. Alexis Grossman, then 19, testified that she saw Erickson hiding in a bush as police were questioning her mother after the deadly crash. According to Alexis, Erickson was lurking in the shadows near the crash site as authorities spoke to her mother, who had stopped her white Mercedes after what had been a reckless street race with Erickson's black SUV. A little while later, Erickson barged into the Grossman family home, visibly panicked. Alexis recalled the confrontation in court, explaining how he frantically demanded, "Why did your mom stop?" She said Erickson seemed angry and erratic, and she could smell alcohol on him. "He was freaking out," Alexis testified. "I was scared." During his outburst, Erickson allegedly warned the teen to keep quiet, telling her, "Don't tell anyone you saw me, or I will ruin you and your family." Earlier that night, Alexis had been waiting for a pizza delivery when she saw her mother's white Mercedes surrounded by police cars. She rushed to the scene, calling out for her mom, "Mommy, Mommy," but was stopped by a sheriff's deputy before she could reach her. As she turned to leave, she claimed she saw Erickson emerge from his hiding spot behind a tree. They made eye contact, and the encounter left her shaken. Former MLB pitcher Scott Erickson allegedly threatened the daughter of his ex-lover, Rebecca Grossman, to stay silent after she spotted him near the scene of the tragic hit-and-run that killed two young boys. Alexis Grossman, then 19, testified that she saw Erickson hiding in a bush as police were questioning her mother after the deadly crash on September 29, 2020, which claimed the lives of 8-year-old Jacob Iskander and his 11-year-old brother, Marcus Kander. According to Alexis, Erickson was lurking in the shadows near the crash site as authorities spoke to her mother, who had stopped her white Mercedes after what had been a reckless street race with Erickson's black SUV. A little while later, Erickson barged into the Grossman family home, visibly panicked. Alexis recalled the confrontation in court, explaining how he frantically demanded, "Why did your mom stop?" She said Erickson seemed angry and erratic, and she could smell alcohol on him. "He was freaking out," Alexis testified. "I was scared." During his outburst, Erickson allegedly warned the teen to keep quiet, telling her, "Don't tell anyone you saw me, or I will ruin you and your family." Earlier that night, Alexis had been waiting for a pizza delivery when she saw her mother's white Mercedes surrounded by police cars. She rushed to the scene, calling out for her mom, "Mommy, Mommy," but was stopped by a sheriff's deputy before she could reach her. As she turned to leave, she claimed she saw Erickson emerge from his hiding spot behind a tree. They made eye contact, and the encounter left her shaken. Alexis's testimony was a key part of the defense's strategy, as her mother's lawyers argued that it was actually Erickson's black SUV that initially struck the boys, not Grossman's white Mercedes. When questioned by Los Angeles County Deputy District Attorney Ryan Gould about why she didn't immediately tell the deputy at the scene about seeing Erickson, Alexis expressed regret. "I wish I had, because if I had, we wouldn't be here right now," she responded. It wasn't until 2021 that Alexis shared what she saw that night with her parents, who were separated at the time. She explained that her mother's attorneys had advised her to stay silent. During her testimony, Alexis also admitted that when she was asked in 2021 whether Erickson had come to their home that night, she had initially said no. Reflecting on that moment, she explained that fear played a big role in her silence. "I wasn't trying to protect anyone," she said. "He was a big guy, a baseball player. I was scared, but in the end, there wasn't a shred of evidence proving that it was Erickson who struck the boys first." Grossman was ultimately found guilty of 2 counts of second-degree murder, 2 counts of vehicular manslaughter, and 1 count of hit-and-run driving for her role in the fatal crash. The conviction came after a lengthy trial in which the prosecution portrayed Grossman's reckless behavior as a dangerous and deadly choice. Leading up to her sentencing, prosecutors made a strong case, arguing that Grossman had displayed a complete lack of remorse throughout the ordeal. As for Erickson, who had also been involved in the crash, his legal outcome was quite different. While initially charged with reckless driving for his part in the incident, his misdemeanor was later dismissed. Erickson avoided more serious consequences by agreeing to create a public service message on the importance of safe driving. This gesture allowed him to sidestep further legal trouble, even as Grossman faced the full weight of the law. Multi-talented Erickson.
You got a long way to go, and then it's hard to, you never get a really chance at it, so
Erickson was deeply involved in sports throughout his high school years at Homestead High School in Cupertino, California. He was a multi-sport athlete, excelling in baseball, soccer, football, and basketball. His standout talent on the baseball field earned him the title of CCS Junior of the Year. After graduating from high school, Erickson continued his academic and athletic journey at San Jose City College, where he earned an associate's degree in business in 1988. His time at San Jose City College was marked by exceptional performances on the baseball field, where he was named a junior college first-team All-American. Following his success at the junior college level, Erickson transferred to the University of Arizona, where he pursued a major in accounting and a minor in psychology. Despite only playing 1 year of baseball at Arizona, Erickson left an indelible mark on the program. His pitching was nothing short of dominant. He set a school record with 18 wins, finishing the season with an 18-3 record. He led the nation in wins, innings pitched, and complete games, numbers that earned him unanimous first-team All-American honors. His outstanding achievements on the mound also earned him a place in the Arizona Wildcat Hall of Fame. In 1989, Erickson further honed his skills by playing collegiate summer baseball with the Cotuit Kettlers in the prestigious Cape Cod Baseball League, cementing his status as one of the top young pitchers in the country. Scott Erickson's path to the major leagues was a journey marked by persistence and talent, as he was selected in the MLB draft 4 different times. His first opportunity came in 1986 when the New York Mets drafted him right out of Homestead High School. However, Erickson chose not to sign and continued his education and baseball career. The following year, in 1987, the Houston Astros drafted him again, this time out of San Jose City College. Yet again, he decided to hold off on starting his professional career. In 1988, the Toronto Blue Jays selected him in the draft, but Erickson still chose to continue honing his skills in college. Finally, in 1989, after being drafted by the Minnesota Twins in the 4th round of the amateur draft out of the University of Arizona, Erickson signed his first professional contract and officially began his pro career. The rise of Scott Erickson. Scott Erickson's early years in the majors were marked by rapid success and standout performances. In 1990, his first season split between AA and the big leagues. He posted an impressive combined record of 16-7. In September, Erickson won a perfect 5-0 and tied with Dave Stewart for the American League Pitcher of the Month honors, signaling his arrival as a force in the league. His 1991 season was even more remarkable. Erickson dominated in the first half of the year, going 12-2 with a stellar 1.39 ERA. His outstanding performance earned him back-to-back American League Pitcher of the Month awards for May and June. In 1992, Erickson made 32 starts and finished with a 13-12 record, including 5 complete games. However, the following season saw a dramatic downturn in his performance. He led the majors with 19 losses, a low point in an otherwise promising career. Consistent performer. In 1995, Erickson's season started on a rough note with the Minnesota Twins as he posted a 4-6 record and a 5.95 ERA. In 1996, Erickson found consistency, winning 13 games for the 2nd consecutive season. He also pitched 6 complete games and racked up 100 strikeouts, marking the 6th straight year he reached that milestone. The following year, 1997, proved to be one of his best seasons since 1992. Erickson won 16 games, posted a solid 3.69 ERA, and made 33 starts for the Orioles. His strong performance earned him a 5-year, $32 million contract with Baltimore, securing his place as one of the team's key pitchers through 2003. Erickson didn't disappoint in 1998, once again winning 16 games for the Orioles. In 2004, Erickson signed a minor league deal with the New York Mets. Unfortunately, injuries set him back, and he didn't make his debut with the team until July. Just before the trade deadline on July 31st, he was traded to the Texas Rangers. In 2005, he found himself in the starting rotation for the Los Angeles Dodgers, hoping to revive his career. The following year, on February 16, 2006, Erickson signed a contract with the New York Yankees. However, his time with the Yankees was short-lived. He was released on June 19th. By the beginning of the 2007 season, Erickson decided to officially retire from baseball, marking the end of a notable career in the sport. Erickson was known as a ground ball pitcher throughout his career. He led the league in double plays 5 times in a season, showcasing his ability to induce ground balls and get key outs. In fact, he ranks in the top 5 in Major League history for his ground ball to fly out ratio, which highlights just how effective he was at keeping the ball on the ground and minimizing scoring chances for opposing teams. That is it for this one. But if you happen to like MLB Legends, make sure to check out our latest videos on our channel Baseball Icons. I'm sure you will love it. Oh, and while you're at it, drop a comment telling us who to cover next, and don't forget to subscribe.